Welcome back to another episode of East Coast Blue Jays. I am your host, Patrick McGraw. Thank you all for coming in. On this episode, Pete Alonso officially re-signed with the New York Mets again. But before we get started, if you're the 30% subscribed to our channel, thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate that. If you're the 69% like to follow the Toronto Blue Jays and like to follow our content, give us a subscribe and a like. Thank you so much. But yes, it is officially the New York Mets have signed Pete Alonso and the Toronto Blue Jays lost out again. Well, congratulations to the New York Mets. I kind of had a feeling that Pete Alonso was going to go back to the New York Mets where he started his career with. So kudos to him. But yes, it is what it is, and Blue Jays lost out again. But it's all good. It's all right. So yeah, Jeff Passan tweeted, breaking slugger Pete Alonso and the New York Mets are engaged on a free agent contract. Sources tell ESPN. Jeff Passan again. Pete Alonso deal with the New York Mets, which is pending physical, is for 2 years, includes an opt-out after the first season. He'll make $30 million this year. And total Pete Alonso deal will guarantee him $54 million over 2 years, sources tell ESPN. So a 2-year, not a 3-year, not a 4-year, a 2-year contract. And after next year, he can opt out and jump back into the free agent market. Okay, we'll see what happens. So John Heyman this time, he followed the shorter term opt-out playbook of Sneal, Chapman, and all the other free agents did. They all went for 2 year, but opt out in the second year. So scoring, so they're thinking or they're hoping that they'll score bigger next year. So we'll see what happens. So in the end, Alonso was choosing between $54 million for 2 years and $70 million for 3. He took the shorter deal, betting on himself with the higher first year of $30 million with the New York Mets. I know the Blue Jays were offering more, but he put up with a 2-year contract with an opt-out, thinking that he's going to get more. John Heyman again tweeted, Mets had a hell of a winter. Polar Bear is back in the Queens. Yeah, it was quite an off season for the New York Mets and the Mets fans and the Blue Jays too. It was kind of a circus, really. Boris really dragged his feet, so did Pete Alonso. And Steve Cohen, pretty much held his ground and said, I'm not going to get outbid. And here's my offer. Pete Alonso, if you don't want to take it, that's fine. We have other players in the farm system that wants to play with us. So anyway, so he is back. Pete Alonso is back with the Mets. Kudos to him. Yep. So 2-year contract worth $54 million. All right. This day in Mets history. February 5th, 2025, Pete Alonso signs a 2-year, $54 million contract to remain with the Mets. Drafted by the New York Mets in 2016, Alonso is a former Rookie of the Year. I think he had 53 homers that year, and a 4-time All-Star. He currently ranks 3rd in franchise history with 226 ribbies, or home runs. All right, Chuck Richey. Pete Alonso was never coming here, meaning the Toronto Blue Jays. Heyman, Boris was just using the Angels and Blue Jays for leverage. Everybody knew that Pete Alonso and Boris were using every other team as leverage. We were just leverage again, but this time we knew. I was kind of hoping that he would come to the Blue Jays, but maybe next year. But we all knew. But yeah, Thomas Hall. Another tweet by someone on the X. Not that it's a consolation, but multiple sources say Blue Jays offered Pete Alonso a 3-year deal exceeding the reported $71 million offer he received from New York. So, but he didn't take the 3 from the Mets. He took a 2. So maybe he wasn't after 3, maybe just after 2. He was looking after a big payday, and it didn't turn out to get a big payday for himself. So he's hoping on next year now. See how well he does this year. Well, this year coming, he's going to do pretty good because I think he's going to do very well this year because the Mets picked up Juan Soto. Juan Soto's in the 2 spot, Pete Alonso in the 3rd spot. I think Pete Alonso is he's gonna bring in Juan Soto in a lot. He's gonna get a lot of RBIs, and he's probably gonna get the same amount of home runs that he did. I think he's gonna have a better year this year. But the same thing with the Toronto Blue Jays. We picked up Santander, a few other guys, Jimenez. So I'm still happy with what we have. Maybe it's time to pivot. Maybe we need to get more bullpen men. Maybe we should go out and get Chapman Bregman. Hopefully we can get Bregman and get him signed up. But if we can't, that's fine. I mean, I'm happy with what we have. And but the biggest thing is we got to concentrate on getting Vladimir Guerrero signed up. That's the biggest thing now. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is the face of the Blue Jays. That's if we get him signed to an extension, it's going to be an A plus, well, A minus. Get him signed to the Toronto Blue Jays. So congratulations to your New York Mets. You got your polar bear back. So unfortunately, the Blue Jays lost out again, but we all knew he was going to end up back at the Mets organization. But hey, it is what it is. But next time, so maybe we have a good chance of getting Alex Bregman. Hey, we do need a third baseman. But we'll see what happens. See what today's going to happen or tomorrow, because it's less than 2 weeks before spring training is going to get started. Before all this is going to be over, and then we're all going to be talking about the young guns and who's going to make the majors. But yeah, thank you all for coming in. If you haven't done already, give us a pump up a like and give us a little subscribe and leave a comment below. Tell me how you feel towards this. I know how you all are going to feel towards this, but leave a little comment below. But thank you all for coming in. Like I always say, let's go Jays.